All right, students, today I am going to be showing how to create a styrofoam print. And this is something that some of the classes have already done before, but I wanted to go ahead and simplify the process. So we have our ink here. These are our cardboard palettes, and then we have some mark making tools that we can use to press into the styrofoam. Mrs. Harris has lots of different sizes of styrofoam, but most of you are going to be practicing on a piece that is about this size. Later, after you've done your design, you'll need your ink, your brayer, and then an inking plate. But for now, we're going to focus on just making the image. So you will find that different tools will make different markings. If you want a really fine line, you're going to make that nice pointed marking. If you need a circle or a dot, you can use the back side of those tools. The popsicle stick makes a nice thick line where you need it. If you press that into the styrofoam. And then our smaller dowel rods make a thicker line. You could experiment with pressing other things into the styrofoam, like our cardboard palette knives, to make different types of patterns or markings. But after you're done playing, we want you to get really focused about what you want your image to look like. So sometimes it's helpful to take a piece of paper to trace the size of styrofoam that you're using. And then go ahead and do a drawing or sketch. You can do that as many times as you need to before going right to the styrofoam so that you don't risk making mistakes. So this would be where you would make your sketch or your plan. And I want to see that from anyone who's planning on using a larger sheet of styrofoam. Okay, once you've done your sketch or your plan, you're going to be able to take that sheet of paper and put it on top of your styrofoam, and Mrs. Harris can help you transfer the image onto the styrofoam. We'll show that in another video. After you have your design completed, like this one here, it's time to start using the ink. There's a couple of things that students did wrong the other day, so I want to get really focused on that. So first is the amount of ink you're using. If the ink has been sitting out overnight, you might have to give it a little stir. And you can wipe off any excess ink just like you do when you're using peanut butter from the jar. So we're going to give it a little stir, and then we're going to scrape it against the top of that jar. But the amount of ink that you need is so small, okay? Then you're going to take that ink and you're going to put it in one area of your printing plate. Then you're going to take your brayer and you're going to start rolling that out. Do not cover the entire space. You can go up and down or side to side, and you want to hear that sticky sound, remember. Then you're going to take this, and hopefully you've left some space here, or you might have to get some scrap paper underneath, and you're going to roll your ink out onto it. You have to work a little bit quickly so that it doesn't dry. Okay, while this is still wet, you then take your paper that you've chosen. You can use anything from our paper sorter in class. And in general, you want the paper to be on top. And then you're going to press.
Wait, I can see it going for the paper.
Okay, then when you peel up, you can take a peek sometimes to see if it printed well. Mine printed pretty well, and you're going to get the reverse. So anyone using words, you're going to use the mirror in the room to help troubleshoot some of those word problems. All right, if you want to ink a second time, you most likely, students, will not have to add more ink. Okay. If you're not hearing the sticky sound anymore, that means you do need a little bit more. So I'm going to come back. And add just a little bit more. I want to get that sticky sound. Perfect. Put this guy over here. Get it inked up. Make sure that your space that you're working in is cleaned up. And then this is when I saw students adapting the other day. So instead of now having the styrofoam on the bottom, if you choose to, you could put the styrofoam on the top with clean fingers or hands, really pressing that in. Although I generally prefer to be able to then flip it and press the back side to avoid getting fingerprints on the front side of my print. Right, now you can print that as many times as you'd like. This can be washed off in the sink and reused. You also can create multiple styrofoam images and then create patterns within those or print them on top of each other. So I'm going to show a little bit of that here in the next video.